guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me Kagam. Today we're going to do a video about how to stop getting dragged if you're going luxury shopping in Europe. Obviously these are tips for people who are not from Europe. I think even if you're from Europe, you might find it interesting. Share some of your own tips in the comments below. I've also written a companion blog post to this video, so you can go read all of the tips on my blog. So without further ado, let's get started. We have a lot to get through. This is based on my experiences shopping in Paris and Berlin, but also of course shopping in London when I was much younger. When I was living in the UK, I would always go to the shops and stuff as well in London. And of course the dragging reviews of today. I see where people go wrong, so I thought it could be fun to film this video. And also it's April now, it's my birthday month, so next month I believe my husband and I will be going to Europe, so I'll keep you guys updated with my European summer holidays, which are on the way. I also don't want to be dragged, so here we go. The first tip, that is the most important thing you need to do, you need to say hello in the European language of the country that you're going to. It's super rude to go to countries in Europe and walk into stores and immediately start speaking English without saying hello in the language of that country, especially in Paris and in cities in France. They find it super rude, okay? And you're gonna get a lot of attitude, and then you're like, oh, I'm shocked everyone's so rude to me, and you didn't even bother to say hello in French. Let's say hello in French together. 1, 2, 3, bonjour. That's it. You don't need to speak French. You don't need to know anything else. Some of you are like, oh, I don't speak French. Can I shop in Paris? Yes, you can. All the luxury shopping essays now are fluent in English. When I was living in France, like as a young exchange student, I was in Paris and I was in the French West Indies in Martinique. Not that many people spoke English, but today it's a completely different scene. Everyone speaks English. At a lot of the boutiques as well for luxury shopping, there will be Mandarin speaking essays, Japanese speaking essays, there'll be Thai speaking essays, Vietnamese speaking essays as well, and there'll be Russian speaking essays and Arabic speaking essays as well, because obviously luxury is super international today. But at the very least, when you walk into the boutique, they will say hello to you because they have been trained to say hello to you first in French. I think that's something that the brands just assume, that they'll just say hello in French because obviously they're in France. And then you just say, bonjour, bonjour, hello, I'd like to buy this, I'd like to buy this, I'd like to buy this, and it's fine, okay? The way you say bonjour is the way I said it, bonjour, that's it, which means good day, hello, okay? And that is the greeting used in France for saying hello to someone before 6 p.m. and then after 6 p.m. like in the evening, you say bonsoir, okay? Which means good evening. Like maybe if you're going to an event and there'll be people saying hello to you, if you're seeing someone for the first time during the day and it's after 6 p.m. you say good evening, bonsoir. I don't speak a lick of German. When I was in Berlin, I just said hello to everyone, guten Tag, during the day. Everyone was so nice, so warm, so friendly. Everyone speaks German, everyone speaks English in Berlin as well, okay? So that is the first tip. It's a very important tip. Second thing is dress appropriately. Oh yeah, by the way, the Spanish thing in France. Some of you were saying, is it okay to speak Spanish in France? I think it's fine to speak like basic Spanish if outside of Paris, because in Paris, in the city center luxury stores, and of course there will be, by the way, there will be Spanish speaking essays obviously in the luxury stores as well. In the luxury stores, all the essays now speak English, so you don't even need to speak Spanish. But if you're going to the south of France, you know, or you're going to other parts in France like Marseille, Aix-en-Provence or Cannes, and maybe at like a smaller store where maybe the owner doesn't speak English, you could definitely speak Spanish and I think you would be understood, because a lot of French people in the southern part of the country, many of them you know, can speak Spanish and can be understood quite well. But you don't need to speak Spanish whatsoever in Paris. You can just speak English, it's fine, okay? All right. The next tip that I have is dress appropriately. This is the one that we always fight about in the comments, me and the girls, honey, and the boys of this channel, the lords and ladies of this channel, we fight about it all the time. A lot of you are like, oh, in my country, we dress casually, it doesn't matter what you look like. Guess what, boo-boo? When you go shopping in Europe, what you look like matters. Go. Like London, Paris, Milan, Rome, like Berlin, like Madrid. These are cities where people look good. Like people look good. Like people don't look like even what like a European person might be like, oh, we don't really dress up, and the person's wearing head to toe Max Mara or wearing Bottega. And for them, they haven't made an effort, or they're wearing Prada and they're like, oh, I haven't really tried today, but I'm wearing Prada ready to wear, or they're wearing like a really cool contemporary brands ready to wear. People do make an effort and people do look good. Shout out to all the Londoners. Like, I remember when I was living in London doing my masters, honestly, Londoners make a huge effort to look really, really nice. It doesn't matter whether they're from North London, South London, East or West London. Everyone has their own sense of style, but people look good. Dress appropriately to avoid getting dragged. It's that simple. Do you want to be dragged? Yes or no? If you want to be dragged, boo-boo, you want to go there in your knickers and look a raggedy mess, okay? You know how we always say, honey, do you want to go there looking like Oliver Twist, okay? But you expect to be treated like you're a king or a queen? Go. Particularly in Paris, they're going to run your card fast and they're going to be like, no, okay? Dress appropriately. I'm not saying you have to, wear a ball gown. I'm not saying, you have to look like Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights. I'm not saying that. But I am saying dress appropriately and look nice. It's really, really important. The third tip that I have is be respectful. There are a lot of super rude tourists. I was very disappointed on this previous trip with the amount of very rude tourists that I saw in Berlin and Paris. You're letting the team down. You're letting us down, man. Like in Europe, like it doesn't matter where you're from in the world. Do not go to Europe and be rude. You're just bringing everyone down. You're making the rest of us look bad. I'm not saying you have to suck up to people, but be polite and be nice. It doesn't matter where you are, luxury store, in a restaurant, in a cafe, at the hotel. Be polite and don't be rude and don't be disrespectful. There are a lot of very rude tourists. Like this time around when I was traveling, I was really shocked by the behavior of some people. It's bang out of order and it's wrong. Be respectful. The next tip that I have for luxury shopping is stop trying to be friends with SAs. Oh my God, some of you drive me crazy, okay? Because you're like, oh, I'm trying to make a connection with the SA. In a lot of these dragging stories, honey, people are trying to make connections with SAs in Paris. And I tried to connect with the SA and I tried to chat to them and I tried to this. They're not your friend. A paid friend is not a friend. Someone who you have to give money to in order for them to talk to you is not your friend. They're not your friend at home, and they're absolutely not your friend in the European fashion capitals, honey. They're not your friend, okay? They're there to make money. Sorry. It's a fact, and we just need to be honest with it. Particularly in Paris, that's been my experience. That the SAs don't really care. Some people say, send a thank you message to the SA. No, I'm actually a fan of not even thanking the SA. Thanking them because you got to spend your money with them. No. I know some people might be like, oh, but particularly in the big H shopping scene, some people might be like, well, the person offered me a Birkin or Kelly, I want to send them a thank you message. I don't think it's necessary. You still spent your very hard-earned money on baits and other items. I don't think you need to. If you want to, you can. I don't think it matters to me, okay? But at this, I just don't see the benefit in trying to befriend the big HSA and trying to make them your friend, particularly if you are a tourist, because unless you're spending at a certain level, you're just taking time away from that SA to help other people who are buying today. Okay, we'll talk about that later on in the video, like how to shop in the store and how to ask for things. And please, if you don't care about these videos, please don't leave a nasty comment moaning about this video. This video is for people who want to know how to shop in Europe and want to have pleasant experiences as tourists. This is not for Europeans. Obviously, if you're a European and you live in Europe, you're shopping and living life, and that's fine. But this is for people who haven't shopped in Europe before or do shop in Europe and want to have a pleasant experience. I've noticed it takes a different shopping style to have a pleasant experience shopping in Europe, okay? Don't try and be the SA's friend. The SA does not care. The SA doesn't want to be your friend. Okay, every essay is different. I found the Moschino and Dior essays to be very warm, very friendly. The Moschino essay was particularly friendly and warm. He's definitely much more of a essay who wants to like connect with you on a personal level. 17 at Sev was very, pushy and standoffish. She didn't really seem like she wanted to know too much about me. I don't care. She's not my friend. I just want to ask her, do you have my bag? When I go back this summer, do you have my bag? Okay? I don't need the person to be my friend. I personally would not worry about trying to connect with them and click with them. A lot of you who believe in this way of shopping, it does not translate in Paris, let me tell you. It does not work there, boo-boo. If there's one place it doesn't work, it's Paris. Even Berlin, where I found the Berlin luxury shopping scene to be much more warmer and friendlier. They're still not trying to give out cards unless you're spending at a certain level. They don't care, okay? Don't try and be the essay's friend. It's a business transaction. The essay's not your friend. Someone you have to pay and give money to isn't your friend. Okay? You have to give them money for them to talk to you. The moment you stop spending money, you're never going to hear from them again. Okay? The next tip is don't take it personally, and this is a very harsh tip, but most essays are not going to remember people who shop, particularly in the Paris scene. I saw this in a group. Someone was saying in a Facebook group, someone was saying how they had approached an essay they met in Paris, and they asked the essay, "Hey, do you remember me?" And the essay was like, "Sorry, I don't remember you." Like, the essays are not going to remember you unless you spend at a certain level. That's like, unless you're spending at a certain level, a lot of the essays are not going to care to remember you. You really need to be spending a lot of money, I think, particularly in the Paris scene, in order for essays to remember you and to care. So if you care about like getting incredible VIP treatment, you will be expected to spend a lot of money to maintain that treatment. For example, if you're someone who, let's say you go to Paris and you go to Louis Vuitton or Dior and you spend 20,000 euros in one shopping spree at Louis Vuitton and you spend 20,000 at Dior. That essay is going to remember you, and then the next time you come to Paris, you are going to be expected to spend at that level in order to maintain your position at the boutique, even as an international shopper. So I would just take note of that, because I feel like unless you're spending at that level, like unless you're someone who's spending like 10,000 in a shopping spree, 15,000 in a shopping spree, 20,000 or more, for all of the brands, with the exception of Big H, because Big H is a bit weird, and I think even Chanel is put Chanel and Hermes aside for a second. But I feel like unless you're someone who can spend like 10,000 euros in one shopping spree at one brand, or 15,000 or 20,000, I've just found that essays don't really want to work with people who are not going to be spending a lot of money every single time that they come to Paris. The next tip that I have, and in my experience I've found, is essays don't want to work with clients, which is kind of connected to the previous tip, is essays don't want to build with you unless you're spending a lot of money every single time. It's become super competitive to shop in Paris right now. A lot of people like to shop in Paris, obviously, and Berlin and Milan and Rome and places like that, because of the savings that you get. You get obviously fantastic, phenomenal savings, and you get the VAT back and stuff. But what that's done is that has attracted a lot of really big spending people to Paris and Milan and Berlin and Rome, and to these major European shopping capitals. And what it's done is it's made it very, very, very competitive for really good essays. Like, a very good essay in Paris is worth his or her weight in gold, because it's very, very hard to get good ones. And by good essay, I mean an essay who responds to messages, doesn't take days to respond to messages, an essay who will keep their word. Like, if the appointment is at a certain time, they will keep it. I've seen that happen in a lot of dragging reviews with Europe. People make appointments with essays, they get there, and the essay doesn't work there anymore, or the essay claims, oh yeah, I'll be there, and isn't there. I remember reading one dragging review. Someone made an appointment with an essay, an international tourist, gets to the boutique, the essay doesn't work there anymore. Didn't even bother to let them know, like, hey, I'm not coming. So I feel like it's super important to just acknowledge that as well. Like, unless you are spending at a certain level, I found that Parisian essays don't want to stay in touch with you, and they don't want to connect with you. And that's why I was saying that it's just like in Paris and Europe, generally speaking, it's not a friendship. They just don't care. And honestly, I don't really expect them to care. This is someone's livelihood. This is someone's job. And I want to make sure that I'm respectful of their time. I want to make sure that I am being respectful of their time as well. But unless you're spending at a certain level in Paris, essays do not care. I feel like that level that, like I was just saying previously, is like, unless you're someone who can spend 10,000 in one transaction, I don't feel like essays really care to keep the connection going. You know, it's just what my experience. If you're someone who can spend 5K in euros, by the way, I'm quoting euros here. If you're someone who can spend 5K shopping, I do think you'll find essays who want to work with you, but they have many people who can spend that. I don't like, if you expect the essay to remember you and have, cakes and macarons and coffee and champagne laid out for you when you come back. If you want to have macarons and coffee and cakes and Dior and Chanel and Big LV laid out for you in a VIP room when you come back, you're going to be expected to spend way more than 5,000 euros. You're going to be expected to spend 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 going up. Because that is the expectation now, because it's become so competitive to shop at these brands, particularly in Europe. The next tip that I have is, oh my god, browse in department stores. Don't go to flagships to browse. I've told you guys before, but Louis Vuitton and Chanel have an anti-browsing strategy, particularly in Paris. Louis Vuitton is really discouraging people from browsing at the standalone stores. They make you feel really exposed, because when you get there's a greeter, like at the Champs Maison, there's a greeter, and then the greeter will be like, what are you looking to buy today? The greeter will be looking at you like, what are you buying today, girl? Like, what are you buying today? Like, they really, and at Champs you can browse, obviously it's the largest Louis Vuitton in the world, but they definitely make you feel awkward if you're not buying something. I always go there to buy something, even if it's something small, I make sure I buy something, but like, if you're not buying something, it's going to feel awkward. Okay, so go and browse in department stores. There are a bunch of department stores. I've been to many of them. I've been to Galeries Lafayette, which is my favorite. I love it. It's beautiful, stunning. They've got really nice restaurants in there as well. Lots of great selection. I've been to Le Bon Marché as well. Le Bon Marché has this like edgier Parisian feel because more locals use it. The Le Bon Marché has got a wonderful concession as well for Fendi, I believe. La Samaritaine, that's the new one. It's close to the Louvre. Wonderful. There's a wonderful Louis Vuitton concession in La Samaritaine. Great selection as well. And of course Printemps, which is close to Galeries Lafayette. Printemps has more like contemporary brands. There's also a Goyard in Printemps. So you can just go to department stores to browse. It's fine. Department store essays don't care because they know someone else is coming tomorrow and that person's going to spend a ton of money. So if you don't buy something, they don't care. Whereas at flagships, I feel like they make you feel really bad if you don't buy something, and it can feel very awkward and very unpleasant to browse in flagships in Paris. The next tip that I have is, if you're going shopping at the flagship stores or even at the department stores, but mainly for the flagship, the standalone stores in Paris, always make sure that you say the most expensive thing first that you're going to buy. This is particularly true for Big H. Start off with the most expensive thing. Like if you go to Louis Vuitton, or you go to Big H, or you go to Big C, say, hey, like they'll be like, bonjour, bonjour. Like, what are you looking for today? I would like to buy fine jewelry. Can you show me the fine jewelry you have? Never say the exact thing that you want to buy. Always get them to show you what they have, okay? Because when you start saying, like, I want to buy this, I feel like the essay feels like they can't upsell you, and then you might find that the essay is quite short with you. Oh, we don't have that in stock, or we don't have this. Always be like, I would like to buy fine jewelry. Can you show me the ready to wear that you have? You'll have a better experience doing that, and always pick the most expensive thing first. The next tip is connected to this one. Never, ever, ever, ever show them something on your phone in Paris, ever. As a tourist, if you do this, they're going to shut down. I feel like the Parisian essays feel like you're not going to spend any money. You want one thing. You don't want to see anything else that the store has. You never show them anything on your phone. If you are new to the store, obviously if you have an essay, you can show them something on your phone. But if you're a tourist shopping at the boutique and you're new to that store, never show them something on your phone. Please don't moan and say, I went there and I showed them things and it was fine. I'm telling you now, if you go as a tourist with no connections at any boutique, Big H, Louis Vuitton, Big C, all of those brands, Fendi, Versace, if you show them a picture from your phone, the essays just lose interest in you, again, because they feel like they can't make money from you, because they feel like you only want to buy one thing and you can't be, they can't show you other things. You always tell the essay, if you're looking to buy a coat, don't tell them the exact coat you want. Get them to show you other coats. You try those coats on, and then you're like, oh, by the way, I'm looking for this other coat. It's like black. Do you have that? I'm telling you, they'll probably find that coat for you and they'll find something else. Some of them are like, they might even have it. They don't want to sell it to you because you're being too direct. Take your time, honey, okay? When you're in Paris, you take your time. It's very chilled out and relaxed. It's not this really direct shopping culture like that. It's not anyway in 2023. The next tip that I have is, if your husband or boyfriend is moody and moaning about luxury shopping, leave your man at home, girl, and leave your man at the hotel. If your partner doesn't want to smile and be cheerful in luxury shops, leave your partner at the hotel. Nothing worse than seeing a moody husband or boyfriend. I saw many of them at Big H in this previous trip, and so many of them are moody and moany and look so angry and don't want to be there. That energy can be picked up by other clients who are shopping. The SA picks up on that energy, and it makes it a very unpleasant, miserable time for everyone. If your husband or boyfriend doesn't want to go, that's fine. Just be like, look, I'm gonna go to Big H on my own, I'm going to Chanel on my own, I'm going to Louis Vuitton on my own, because I wanna just shop and enjoy it. I have my own shopping style. I can shop with my husband, but I love shopping alone. And my husband knows this. He knows I love going to, like, I think actually when I went to buy the perfume in Johannesburg at Louis Vuitton, I was alone, you know? And he knows I love going to shops alone. I just love going there. I went to Versace alone. Obviously, I went to Versace alone on the first trip when we went to Paris, like December 2021. I went to the Rue Saint-Honoré alone, and I also went to the Avenue Montaigne alone. I really enjoy it. I find it very relaxing. That's not to say that my husband isn't wonderful. When we go to luxury stores, he is wonderful, and it's fine. But I actually really enjoy shopping alone. So if your partner isn't gonna smile, boo-boo, isn't gonna be happy, don't take your partner there. Although I did tell my husband, like, on this next trip that we're going on, these summer holidays, like, we'll be going to more luxury stores together. And he was like, I'm smiling, I'm ready. Okay, so that's the kind of energy that your partner should have. If your partner doesn't want to be there, don't take your partner. It really can bring a kind of downer on the whole appointment, and even the SA can pick up on it, okay? The only partners that go luxury shopping with you are happy partners, okay? The next tip is, don't be afraid to ask for drinks if they don't offer you anything. Honestly, in my experience in Paris, as long as you buy something, they're going to offer you something to drink. And like I told you, remember, when you walk into the flagship, what are you looking for today? I always said, I would like to buy this today. And I swear they will offer you something to drink. For those of you who care about this kind of thing, we've talked about this on the channel before. Does it matter? Does it not matter? I think it matters, because I think we're spending a lot of money. I would like to be offered something to drink, yes. At every place that I went to on this trip, I was offered something to drink. Dior, Moschino, Big H, all those places I was offered something to drink after I said I was going to buy something. Okay, I would like to buy this. Oh, okay, cool, sit down. Then they bring the drinks out. If you haven't been offered a drink yet and you said you're gonna buy something, ask for one, it's fine. Ask for one, there's nothing wrong. And don't get upset if you have been offered one. The SA is a human being, they might forget. But generally speaking, if you are going to buy something, they will offer you something to drink. Another thing is, like, in a lot of the dragging reviews, something that I've noticed, like, a lot of people are very impatient with the shopping culture in Europe, and this is something I found in a lot of different European cities that get reviewed. At the end of the day, like, you're in Europe, just enjoy the shopping vibe there. It's not like your home store, and that's fine. You know, people don't care about you because they don't know you. The SA doesn't care, they don't know you. You need to kind of, you know, build up your purchase history of that store and build things up, and just take it easy and be patient while you're shopping there. And a lot of the dragging reviews, particularly for the Paris scene, people are very angry about the way SA seem in Paris, like, oh, they're so slow and they take ages to bring things out. Be patient, enjoy the vibes, honey, in Paris. Parisian essays take their time and they don't care that you don't like that, okay? So take it easy and relax. The next tip that I have is ask for items strategically. Someone moaned at me in one of my dragging videos when I mentioned the thing about never saying exactly what it is at the beginning. And the person was like, this is so dramatic, this is so stupid. If you want to buy something, you should say it. If you don't care about great treatment, you want to be in and out, you can do that. Most of you who watch my channel, you do care about good treatment if you're going to be spending tens of thousands of dollars, or if you're going to be spending thousands and thousands of dollars. If I'm going to be spending a lot of money, thousands of dollars, thousands of euros, thousands of shillings, I would like to be treated well, okay? And I would like to have good treatment at the boutique. Even if you're spending just hundreds of euros or whatever, I would like to be treated well. You have to ask for items strategically. I noticed this at Moschino, and I noticed this at Dior and at Big H as well in my previous trip. Those like 3 shopping trips were successful because I was very strategic in the way I asked for things. Moschino, there was a swimsuit I wanted from the website. I didn't ask for it directly. Can you show me the ones you have? I was like, I'd like to buy a swimsuit today. Which ones do you have? This is my size. Oh, I have, and then he's bringing them out. Oh, I have this. Oh, I have that. Oh, I have this. Oh, and then I'm like, oh, that's a jumper. Oh, this is a t-shirt. By the way, do you have t-shirts? By the way, do you have dresses? Do you have a cardigan? Do you have shoes? Like that. Of course, you have to buy something, obviously, but do it like that. Same thing at Dior. Start with the notebook. Try it on sunglasses. Oh, I think I might take these sunglasses. She's like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, we have more. Okay, try them on. By the way, do you want to try an already pair? I was like, oh, by the way, tell me about your exotics. I'm not going to buy one today, but I'd like to know more information. Like that. Ask for items strategically. Do not go in there with a list from your phone, with pictures from your phone. It really turns them off, and they really don't like it because they think that you might be a reseller, or they think that maybe you can't be sold other items, okay? Ask for items strategically. Now moving forward, I'm only using that strategy. When we go to Paris and Europe this summer, I'm gonna, if for example, if I walk into Louis Vuitton and I want to see a specific t-shirt that Louis Vuitton is selling, I will not say I would like to buy this t-shirt with this reference. I will say, hello, I'd like to look at some ready-to-wear because I want to buy some ready-to-wear today. Can you show me the t-shirts you have? Let's start there. Like that. Do you have skirts? Let's start there. Obviously, you need to have the intention and you need to follow through and buy something. You can't just like do that and then try on like 10 pieces and not buy anything. If you try on 10 pieces, yeah, you should be like, ideally you should be buying 3 or 4 garments, okay? But it's okay to try things on and not buy everything, but you need to be buying some of it for sure, okay? Ask for items strategically. I promise you'll be treated well if you do it that way in Paris. If you want to be dragged, don't listen to me, boo-boo. Go get yourself dragged, okay? But don't come and moan at me about it. So I hope that this video has been interesting. I just wanted to say, like, I hope I haven't made anyone feel like, oh, you can't go to Paris if you're not spending thousands and thousands and thousands. I'm not saying that at all. You can absolutely go. But if you want to build connections with essays in Paris, there is this expectation that you are going to be spending a lot of money. And I have seen people say, like, on social media, like, oh, you know, you should never feel pressured to spend and things like that. I agree, you should never feel pressured to spend. But if you are going to go to the trouble of trying to connect with, you know, essays from any brand there, they will expect you to spend, particularly if you're going to be going back often, and if you want to have like special treatment, like if you want them to put champagne out and have macaroons out and have drinks and take you to a private room. For any brand, it's not just Big H. You know, I don't want us to focus too much on Big H on this. All brands do this for the spenders. If you want that kind of service, you will be expected to spend, for sure. You will be expected to spend. The people who spend get that and much more, you know, like all the brands have like VIP rooms and, you know, VIP experiences. If you care about that kind of thing, you know, I'm not saying I've had great experiences and I haven't spent like thousands and thousands, you know, as well. And I have had like really good experiences, but honestly, looking back, like that was like at a time when like the pandemic was happening. So there was this like window of opportunity, even if you didn't want to spend, a ton. But now, after coming back from Paris, like in February, it's very, very competitive. Like all the spenders are back and everyone is competing to connect with the essays that are good and the essays who want to help and the essays who basically want to make things happen. So those are my tips for luxury shopping in Europe. I think that these tips are good for Paris, Milan, Berlin, Rome, London as well. I think that they're relevant because I just feel like shopping in Europe is very different. You have to understand that in all of those European cities that I've mentioned, there are extremely rich, wealthy locals who live there. I saw this particularly in Berlin. Like, I have never seen so many Mercedes Benzes, Porsches in my life. Particularly in like Berlin, there are a lot of extremely wealthy local people who can spend hundreds of thousands of euros in one shopping spree. You have extremely wealthy tourists who can spend hundreds of thousands of euros as well. All of those cities, Paris, Milan, Rome, Berlin, London, Madrid, all of them have a lot of tourists who shop there and have very wealthy local clientele as well who can compete. So if you're coming as a tourist, you shouldn't think, oh, because I'm a tourist, they need me. Trust me when I say all of those places have a lot of wealthy local clients who are going to spend the money and who are more than willing to spend a lot as well. So I hope that this video has been interesting, and I hope that I've helped if at all. I hope maybe just to like make it easier for you so you have a pleasant shopping experience. What I found is even if you're not someone who wants to spend a lot, you can have a very good experience if you're not a time waster. So like I said, knowing exactly what you're gonna buy. And also, if you try on ready to wear, as long as it fits you, commit to buying it. Don't like make the person run around for you to do all these nice things for you, but then you don't buy anything. That's seen as, I think that is seen as really rude. There's no pressure to buy, but when people say there's no pressure to buy, I feel like they're not shopping in these like really competitive top tier cities. I would think that New York and Miami, for example, for those of you from America, like I've been shopping in New York and shopping in Miami, like those are top tier shopping destinations as well. Like people, going into a store and trying on a ton of ready to wear just because you want to try it on but not committing to buying, I do feel like that does make you look bad. And I think that would be similar, in a top tier, destination like, Dubai and Singapore and Seoul. There are a lot of places in the world where there are a lot of people who can spend. So I think you should also be very calculated and be very deliberate and be very intentional if you are not planning on spending like a fortune or something. If you're not planning on spending a ton, don't be a time waster, because I think if you're respectful of the essay's time, you'll get more respect as well. Whereas there are a lot of people who want to come and see everything and touch everything, and have no intention of buying and want to take up the essay's time. That is not cool. I want to mention the social media stuff as well, because there are a lot of vloggers in Paris at the moment. There are a lot of like luxury YouTube channels that go to Paris and film content. Of course, I was there. Of course, I'm going to film content. And this summer, because Edwin will be with me, it'll be easier, I think, for me. I have, things I want to film. But generally speaking, I only go to film if I'm buying something. Like if I'm buying, what I found is like if you're buying something, they don't care if you take a picture. I found that to be true. But if you're someone who's watching and maybe you want to go to Paris and you want to like film things for your social media page and stuff like that, go to department stores. Don't go to flagships to like film content. A lot of vloggers do that and don't buy anything. Essays know, and they really don't like it. Okay, so if you want to go and film content and stuff, if you're watching, if you're a vlogger or an Instagrammer, go to department stores. Department store essays do not care if you take pictures. If you're not buying, they don't care at all, because they know that someone is going to come eventually to buy something. So I hope that these tips help. These are just meant to be just like a fun video where we share information. Like I said, it's linked below on my blog. You can go read it. I just want you guys to have a pleasant experience. My shopping experience this time around was much more pleasant, but I was much more intentional about the way I was shopping. And like I said, every single store, every single boutique you go to, you have to tell the essay you're buying something. Don't even say you're browsing. Don't even say I'm looking. Keep that English nice and direct and upfront. If you're going to Louis Vuitton, for just a scenario, for example, Let's say you're going to Louis Vuitton and you want to buy an Alma in Epi. Be like, hey, they're gonna say bonjour, bonjour. And then they're like, what are you looking for? Oh, I would like to look at some of the leather bags. I think I want to buy an Alma today, but show me some other ones that you have as well. Get them to show you other things as well. What I found from that is the experience is much more pleasant because they pretty much know you're going to take the Alma, but you want to see other bags and maybe there's something else that you'll like as well. Even if you don't buy it, it doesn't matter, you're still buying the Alma, versus being like, I only want to buy the Epi Alma today. You know, I feel like you need to also like just be willing maybe to also buy other things as well. But even if you're not willing to buy other things, get them to show you things. I have found that is more successful. Even if you're just buying one ready-to-wear garment at Dior or Fendi, be like, hello, can you show me what dresses you have today so I can pick something out for myself? I found that that is a much better, like you're gonna have better treatment versus being like, I saw this shirt on the website, this is the one that I want. If they don't have it, they'll be like, oh, we don't have it. And it's some boutiques will not want to transfer it for you, and then you're going to be stressing yourself out trying to get things transferred in a country that you don't live in and all the rest of it. Buy what the boutique has. There are a lot of places where you can go shop. I've got some really interesting comments from you on some of my dragging videos. There are lots of locations for Louis Vuitton in Paris. There are heaps of locations for Dior. There are lots of like locations, you know, for Chanel obviously, and for obviously Big H as well, and Gucci. There are many places where you can go and explore and find the place that works for you. In my experience, the flagship boutiques, the standalone stores, okay, are fine as long as you're buying something. Even something small, I know you might be like, okay, I'm gonna buy something that's really small, and to you, you think it's irrelevant. As long as you buy something, I found flagships are fine. I think flagships just don't like people who have come to browse and look around. I think that's just the feeling that I have gotten. Whereas department stores, I think they're fine with you browsing. I really hope that you liked this video. I have a dragging video coming next week. It'll come on Thursday, so make sure you stick around for that. I'll be posting 3 videos a week. This week has been like full of videos because so much has been going on in luxury, and I don't want my content to be out of date by the time you see it, so I want to be posting things that are current, but I'm going to be sticking to my schedule moving forward of 3 videos a week, so make sure you stick around for that. Fully subscribe, turn on notifications. If you're already subscribed, do me a favor, turn on notifications, follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and go join the group. The group is awesome and amazing. I'd love to see you there. So yeah, I think we're going to be in Paris and Europe. We're going to Paris and London. Paris and London are for sure, and then hopefully some other European cities. So that'll be from May onwards. So I hope you guys will stick around for that because I'm super excited for my trip. So that's why I wanted to film this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next video.